Hello and welcome to CivilNet. The parliamentary elections are in 2 days. This year, what's special about this year is that there's an unprecedented amount of observers coming from the diaspora. There's an unprecedented amount of observers who signed up from Armenia as well. Even though we're testing out a new electoral code, even though this is the first parliamentary election ever since the referendum in 2015 that decided that the country would go from a presidential to a parliamentary system. So a lot of new things are happening this year. Well, there are only 2 days left until the elections, and we already have a big flow of people. People have arrived from the diaspora to be observers, to reconnect and have an input in democracy in Armenia. And my guest today, Sebouh Oshagan, is one of those people, but we've already spoken to Sebouh once in Armenian, which was very exciting. You had just arrived and you were jet lagged, and we did it in Armenian. It was very exciting for me, but I wanted to have this conversation in English as well. Especially that things have changed a little bit in the last week. Well, you turned 18, which now actually since yesterday you're officially
allowed to be
an observer. Yes. So when you arrived, you weren't even allowed to be an observer. And the other thing is that you've already been in Armenia for a couple of days now, and you've been to the trainings. You have a clearer understanding of what the situation's like on the ground and what's expected of you. So again, what has changed? What did you understand being here for this week that you didn't know before, or didn't have a clear idea?
I now understand, or I don't understand the complex system. And I'm actually going back to training today to get a better feel of what it's going to be like, and on the day of, so I can assess situations on the day of the training, the elections. That is, I didn't know that it was going to be so complex, and now I sort of understand. I don't understand the complexity, but I understand how complex it is.
So was it like, okay, I'll go and see, just like oversee that no one's stuffing ballots in the box?
I knew it wasn't going to be like that simple, but I also didn't realize exactly how.
It is complicated. Yeah. There are too many things to watch out for. I was an observer during the referendum in 2015, and honestly, before going on election day, on referendum day, I was freaking out. I was thinking too much information. I hadn't like settled with me. I won't be able to see everything, register everything, be everywhere at the same time, even if it's a small room. Do you get that feeling?
Yeah, I was speaking to Iceland today, and she was telling me about how we might see something and we might think it's fraudulent, but truly it might not be. Or there are many worries that are like sort of, I'm pretty sure once we kind of are on the ground or actually there in the front line, it's going to be much different. But before, now we're very worried how we might not assess the situation correctly. We might think something's happening, something's not, or vice versa.
Have you been warned of any violence or intimidation? Are you worried about that?
I asked about violence or intimidation, and I was told not to worry. But I don't know.
Do you have good advice of what to do?
No.
All right. So I know that if there's some kind of intimidation, it's advised not to leave the room. You better stay inside.
I thought you meant violence toward me.
Yeah.
Well,
no, generally.
General violence?
Towards you as
just
well.
Protect the balance for your life, with your life. Yeah.
With your life.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what that's what I took from it.
Okay, so Sebouh, why I especially like talking to you is that your case is pretty, it's not like, okay, I will go. Your parents couldn't come, so they send you instead? Is that?
Well, yeah, my dad was in the first part of this Justice Within Armenia sort of thing that's happening. And instead of him coming, because he had prior obligations, work, and he couldn't get time off, the opportunity came about that I would come. So instead of my dad coming, I'm sort of in his place.
Do you feel like you're kind of being sent instead of him, or it's just like feels like a special opportunity, gift?
Feels as a special, more like I don't feel that I'm sort of here instead of him. I'm here, not that he's here.
So I want to hear your take on this. Why is it important that you're here? And I'm not talking about why is it important for Armenia. Why is it important for you?
Me as Sebouh Oshagan, or me as someone
Sebouh Oshagan of California.
Well, for me personally, I think it's a fantastic experience and something that will help me mature and grow. And even further than that, as part of as a diasporan, I think it's important to come and witness sort of, we always speak from the diaspora, we always send money, donate to Armenia, help save telethon every year. But coming and experiencing, I think is a
different thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel in the diaspora that this is something that you shouldn't meddle in, or these like elections in Armenia? I don't know if you're active in America, like did you think about observing elections in America?
I've thought about how...
But you couldn't actually at that point.
Yeah, I couldn't. But like I've thought about how it must feel for an Armenian, for someone to come outside of Armenia and sort of just watch you. Just watch your election, take interest in how I would feel if like a French person came to America and sort of watched me cast my ballot. I don't know how it must feel, but it's definitely interesting.
So what are your plans for after the election?
After the election, the day after the election, we're traveling to Karabakh, sort of because I don't think you can come to Armenia and try to understand Armenia and what's happening here without visiting Karabakh. So I joined the group that's going to Karabakh.
So that's another thing people need to see for themselves to understand. That's my experience of Karabakh every time I go. To speak about a conflict of its own without ever having been there, without having seen the people.
I don't think you can even speak about it without having ever been there.
So, but you did manage to go around the villages in Yerevan, right? A little bit.
A little bit. We went to the Arad-Yantash,
Valley.
Valley, yeah. And I went with some other journalists, and we spoke to people, like villagers sort of, and we spoke to some non-Armenians, some Yazdi people, and some Armenians, and pretty much just, we actually ran into a Spirkahai that was living in, a village.
A village.
Yeah.
And did he think you were kind of strange coming here to be observers while he took another kind of a decision to move here? Was there a good understanding of we're on the same page kind of?
From the Spirkahai.
Yes? Mm-hmm. Well, how did you manage to get time off from school to come here? I mean, it's not spring break anymore. It's not necessarily a good time to be missing school. Is that
I've already applied to colleges, and my teachers were actually very supportive of me coming. Like, for example, my government teacher said that if I didn't come do this, she would take points off. And I'm preparing like a film, and I'm writing papers about like sort of my experience here, and I'm going to be presenting that for points and like for credit.
Oh, so you're already kind of doing homework here when you're presenting a film.
I still have to like do my homework and submit everything online.
So the film, the film will be about elections in Armenia?
So yeah, I have a camera and I'm videotaping pretty much everything that has to do with elections, and I have a feeling it's going to be like a before elections what I do, and then during the day of the elections, and then sort of after. All
right, great. Maybe we'll get to see the film soon.
Maybe.
When do you have to hand it in?
I don't know. I have to.
Let me know.
Soon, like within a week of the elections.
Oh, okay. That's tough.
I mean, like no. I mean, like I will hope to finish it soon.
Yeah. All right. Good luck, Sebouh. I know you're going to a rough area. You're not going to be in Yerevan, so you're going to get probably the whole experience. Well, mine was that during the referendum that, well, I was in a good polling station and nothing much happened, but still it was quite an experience for me.
There's also, do I want to see anything? There's that question. Yeah. Do I want? I want to see something, but also at the same time I don't want to see it because that'd be a good thing. But at the same time, I also want to speak about the corruption.
It's a dilemma, right? You kind of want,
paradoxical.
Yeah, you want to be helpful, whereas to kind of capture irregularities and speak about them, and yet you
also at the same time you don't.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Good luck, and to our viewers, elections are in 2 days across Armenia, and follow ＳivilNet for updates, regular updates on the day, and for developments afterwards.